It's my pleasure now to introduce Terence van de Hout. And, he's the chairman of the jury. He's a managing partner at the Commodity Discovery Fund. And Terence, you'll be presenting a report on the award. How did you select the companies? What were the criteria? So the floor is all yours. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Kai. Thanks very much. I want to begin by saying that I am very proud of the companies that have been presenting to you today, regardless of who wins. These companies are the best of the discoveries that we could find. And we expect a number of them, if they haven't already done so, to be of tremendous value to the fund, to our portfolio. So thank you very much for coming. It's not the case that these companies have come to us for their marketing activities. We have selected them ourselves. So thank you for coming. We get to the formal bit at this point, and I am going to read to you excerpts of the jury report as the chairman of the jury, and I will cover the companies that have been presenting to you today in alphabetical following, and I will read to you a couple of things as to why we think these companies are of interest to the fund. So this may get a bit boring, but at the end, we'll get to the award ceremony, and it will get a bit more lively. So we'll start with Abra Silver. Abra Silver holds a world-class silver and gold deposit at the Diablillos project in Salta province, as we have seen in Argentina. Abra acquired the project in 2016 and have advanced the project steadily by almost 30 million ounces of silver and adding 500,000 ounces of gold over the last 2 years. Despite the already large resource, deeper drilling shows potential for further expansion at depth. Recent drilling has returned 5 holes, achieving the top 10 status in the best grade times thickness of the past 2 years. We've seen that table shown by both Aya and Abra, as both show up in that table. A second, more southerly zone was discovered in August last year. This new zone, called the Jack, is much higher grade, is much thicker, is more robust, and we expect this to add ounces substantially, which will be good for the grade and the economics of the project. The deposit, because of its lowish grade, is leveraged to the metal prices and should do very well in what we believe is a pending bull market in precious metals. Aya. Aya Gold and Silver is effectively a turnaround story, as we've seen, transforming from a small high-grade silver mine in Morocco that was poorly operated to the discovery of a potential Tier 1 silver discovery at Zagunda and a ramp-up to a highly profitable large-scale production. A second intriguing polymetallic discovery at Boumadine will likely shape the company for decades to come. In a world where large, high-quality silver deposits are an exception, it's even rarer for a company to possess 2 such projects. Aya is the first African silver producer, starting production in 2014, and currently is the only pure silver producer in the world. Ranked by silver grade times thickness, as we have seen, Aya has the second best silver intercept in the world of the last 2 years and has 3 holes in the top 10. Aya's made an impressive run since 2020 from a low valuation of $1 to over $11.50, which now reflects much of the expected expanded production. And once Boumadine proves its potential, we expect the Aya valuation to go into second gear. Cobra. Australian-listed Cobra has made an intriguing recent copper discovery in Ngami, Botswana, along the Kalahari Copper Belt, which hosts a number of profitable copper operations. Cobra's discovery is a classic sedimentary hosted deposit that has all the similarities of some of our previous investments, and that's what piqued our interest initially, such as the T3 zone, which was held by Mod Resources, sold to Sandfire, and the Banana zone, sold by Hannah Mining to Kuprick. Although not massive at this stage, these discoveries are significant because of the fact that they are at surface, almost, and because of the long strike potential. They show great continuity and will be much quicker to get to production than the mammoth porphyry projects elsewhere that take an average of 20 years to develop from a discovery. This potential ease of production makes new discoveries along the belt easy takeover targets, and previous projects have been acquired for around $150 million US dollars in the past. Cobra's discovery was made only 9 months ago and will need more time to develop. However, given the extensive land package that hosts a number of parallel limbs, as well as neighboring minor Sandfire's exploration collaboration agreement, and the necessity of new sources of copper to cater for the green electrification revolution, we believe further discovery in Botswana by Cobra will make the company an obvious takeover target. De Grey, the Hemi discovery in the Australian Pilbara, was made in December 2019, and although not a blockbuster at the time, this coincided with high-grade intercepts at two other proximal targets. After only 3 years of drilling, Hemi now shows 8.5 million ounces of gold from 5 deposits at surface, as we have seen in the presentation. CDFund took place in a financing just before the Hemi discovery at 5 cents in July 2019, following the discovery of the melon seed conglomerates at Loudon's Patch, as well as the Malana and Taurana discoveries. At a current price of $1.60, that's over 3,000% rise for the portfolio, making this one of our biggest winners ever in the portfolio. We believe the immense size of the deposit will ensure that many major producers will have an interest in snatching Hemi in the future, despite Andy's talks that he wants to produce everything himself. And it's one of the very few Tier 1 gold deposits available that is not in the hands of a major producer already. With an NPV of 2.7 billion Australian dollars after tax, Hemi has astounding value. High gold mining. With an original discovery hole of 109 meters at 10 grams per ton and significant values of zinc and copper, High Gold's JT discovery in Alaska jumps off the screen immediately. Follow-up holes superseded this discovery, returning the fifth best gold hole, grade times thickness, for the industry in 2022. High Gold has now defined a 1.2 million ounce gold deposit at roughly 9 grams per ton. The discovery is still open on a number of sides, and an inferred offset, which is a transported part of the same deposit, has so far been elusive, but is likely yet to be found. On top of that, a new discovery at Difficult Creek, some miles to the north, has returned the third best hole of exploration companies in 2021. And although this is still small, they've only just started there, this clearly is another rich deposit. The company rose from 60 cents to $3 initially on the back of the outstanding first holes. With the decent-sized financing that has just been announced, the company will be able to follow up on the initial drilling success and should start to reflect the valuation of a company with a multi-million ounce perspective. I-80 is an advanced explorer that started producing gold in 2022 on a small scale at Granite Creek. It's developing a number of gold projects in Nevada simultaneously and is therefore somewhat more difficult to see as a standalone discovery. However, we are very intrigued by a new set of discoveries around the Ruby Hill area, which seem to indicate the existence of a large classic Nevada gold system that includes possibly heap leachable oxides, Carlin styles, carbonate replacement deposit, and skarn-type mineralization. At Ruby Hill alone, we believe I-80 has an outlook on a world-class set of deposits when all is said and done. And CRD-style polymetallic mineralization in particular has become quite fashionable since South 32's takeover of Arizona mining for roughly $1.9 billion US dollars in 2018. I-80 is run by a group of established mine builders and operators, and which has facilitated a number of multi-million-dollar takeovers in the past, with company-wide total assets of 14.5 million ounces of gold, 180 million ounces of silver, the possession of a coveted autoclave and processing facilities, and 3 projects coming to production. Within the next 2 years, we expect I-80 to hit the revaluation button sometime over the next 24 months to reflect a profitable mid-tier gold producer with a very high risk of being acquired. Western Alaska. Western Alaska Minerals has made an exciting discovery at their Waterbuck Creek project in Alaska. After the August 22 discovery, Western Alaska rose from $1.75 to over $6 in a matter of days. The company has found the already substantial fingertip of a CRD deposit that typically holds long mineralized fingers morphing into a skarn and possibly towards a porphyry source. At current dimensions, we believe the fingertip already hosts a sizable silver polymetallic resource, and that's after just 9 months of drilling. With the company targeting around 100 to 120 million ounces of silver equivalent there alone. The company has a sense of where the rest of the finger is that could lead to the porphyry source, and large CRD analogs indicate that there are often a number of parallel fingers, a thesis the company is very eager to prove. It's still very early days for the exciting discovery by Western Alaska, and we need to give the company time to further develop it as we enter only the second drilling season after the discovery. At a current valuation of approximately 100 million, we feel very little of the discovery is priced in at the company, and it has a lot to look forward to. So now we come to the conclusion. All 7 companies, to varying degrees, bear the hallmarks of an outstanding discovery, otherwise they would not be presenting here today. Either a blockbuster hole, a large collection of high-quality holes, an outlook on a world-class deposit, a Tier 1 or possibly Tier 2 project that would be of interest to a very large producer, very rapid exploration success, and further potential for value expansion. 2 factors make this year's winners stand out. For one, there's been tremendous value creation in the CDFund portfolio, which, when all is said and done, is really the only reason we invest at all. And secondly, the speed of exploration and the size of the deposit defined are extraordinary. The CDFund investment thesis is predicated on Tier 1 discoveries that will get taken over by major producers, and the huge Hemi deposit fits that bracket precisely. So after being runner-up in 2021, the winner of the 2023 Discovery Award is De Grey Mining. We're supposed to show the video.
That's it.
Yeah, the video.
Fantastic. We filmed a short reaction video with Andy Backsmith just late last week, and we have his reaction here on screen for you.
De Grey Mining wins the 2023 Discovery Award. I have the award here. I'd like to congratulate you. We've had an artist make it from a core that you've sent. That is the core. I can't see any gold in the core. Can you explain to me what we're seeing here?
Yeah. So, first of all, it's amazing to win the award. The core that you have got there is part of Hemi. I think it's actually from Brolga. That Brolga it probably is actually one of the first few drill holes. I think we drilled part of that. It's part of the original host rock. You won't see any gold in it because there's actually very little visible gold in Brolga.
That's right.
It's actually all associated with the sulfides, but very good looking core.
It is. It's fantastic. Yeah.
If I may, I'd like to actually just say thank you to Commodity Discovery Fund itself for investing first, Willem, and thanks for hanging in there and the support, but also all our other shareholders and certainly our staff. Couldn't be done without them.
Great. Well, thank you very much for your presentation, and congratulations again for winning the award. And take care.
Thank you very much.
Should we do some questions first? Yeah, so I'm going to ask Willem and Terence just a couple questions about why they picked De Grey, A, as a winner, but also as an investment, because I find it really interesting. Andy pointed out early on that they made a discovery and nobody cared. The stock was at 4 cents. Even you guys came in even after the fact, not before the discovery. So what prompted you to invest that early and to put money at play here?
We went on a fact-finding mission to the Pilbara in 2017 because Novo Resources had this special discovery of the watermelon seed nuggets. And on that fact-finding mission, we also went to De Grey because De Grey owned all this land next to Novo. So that's when we learned about their tenements and how prospective it was. And I was always intrigued. They had this whole belt, over 150 kilometers, and it was quite clear there was quite a bit of gold to be found, but everybody was looking for the watermelon seed nuggets. Well, that story died down. We lost some money on that one, but we were always intrigued by the Hemi project and the Gray, so we decided to join that financing. It was very hard at that time for the Gray to survive financially. I think the market cap came down to 6 million. And I think we weren't cash rich at that time, but we put down 50K, 50,000 euros.
A bit more than that, I think.
And that was at the 5-cent valuation. And the late response to the first discovery news, it happens time and again. We've seen the same with Greatland Gold. It didn't move for 1 year, I think.
Next Gen didn't move for 2.5 years.
It's when you actually, like Nikki Etzet-Bell made that point in another presentation as well, that's when you, as investors in this space, following closely, have an edge. Because the market needs time to digest a discovery or something. That's when you can invest.
Sometimes it's very obvious.
Yeah.
Not always, but sometimes it is.
But sometimes you start questioning yourself because you know it's a good discovery. You put money in and it goes down. Greatland Gold went down by 50%. And then, it's really the question, is the world mad or are we making a big mistake? So,
And, you're still shareholders in the company, obviously?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Have you taken money off the table
Sure.
along the way? Seeing that
Sure.
chart, I would have been gone to 10 cents personally, probably.
But also, it shows, because many people think that my example, which I always use, of Aurelian Resources, that was beginner's luck. But you can have this kind of success time and again. It's very unfortunate that, the whole market has been coming down for the last 10 to 15 years. So you really can't show the value of discovery investing in a declining market. But once a bull market returns, the returns will be staggering.
The great takeover candidate in your mind, Terence?
Yes, definitely. As I said, it's one of the very few companies, it's the only company that has an outlook on 10 million ounces of gold that is independent of, that has a feasible project of 10 million ounces of gold that has an outlook of more, and that is not, that's independent, that's not part of a Newmont or a Barrick or a big producer. So.
Yeah, it ticks all the tier 1 boxes, obviously. Fantastic. One thing we thought about doing as well, just send a selfie to Andy with you, the audience in the background. I was going to ask the director in the background to turn the lights on so we can see everybody. And I would love for everybody to stand up real quick and maybe cheer, clap your hands while we're taking a selfie for Andy and the company, because you're all our winners here as well.
Terence?
All right.
Okay, there you go, Andy. Come on, yeah.
Hold on, 1 second, 1 second.
Yeah. One more.
One more. Fantastic. Thank you so much, because you all are winners as well, because you're investors in the Discovery Fund and participated in the share price success as well.